You were saying before I so rudely interrupted?
My CTE is getting the better of me here.
Do you honestly think, like if you had the option, once you pass, are you going to give them your brain? Do you want them to have a look?
Yeah, sure.
What do you think they're going to see? Because that's the one thing about the brain is that once it bruises, it doesn't recover like the skin does. Like once it's bruised, that's it.
You know,
your brain is bruised.
My dad used to tell me all the time as a kid. I asked him, Dad, what do you want us to do when you die? He said, I'm dead. I don't care. Take my body and throw it off a bridge for all I care.
Let's get it on video at least.
Throwing him into the big red.
What about, have you heard the stories, and these absolutely fascinate me, people that are on donor lists,
yep.
And after they pass, if anything that's harvestable, they will put it out for donation. And people that receive stuff like hearts or lungs or livers or kidneys or whatever it may be. I'll give you a perfect example. Somebody took a heart transplant, and more often than not, you don't get to find out who the donor is. But this person who had never jumped on a bike before, after their heart surgery, got on a bike and just decided, oh my God, I love biking so much. And they biked and biked and biked and biked and biked, and then found out years later that their donor was actually a professional road racer. So, I mean, to get a heart from somebody and then all of a sudden think, I got to go bicycling. Did that have anything to do with the heart? Like, is there something about that? Was there a piece of that person? Like, obviously there was a piece of that person that went into another person, but does that come along with their personality as well? Like, are we that encoded in our DNA that we can swap things out like that? Is it that interchangeable? That fascinates me.
So you asked me if they were to break down my brain, what they would find, though?
Yeah. No, I mean, like for everything that you've gone through with playing high-impact sports and taking pucks off the head and whatnot, are you worried that, that there are some things going on up there? Like you just made a mention, like, oh, my CT is getting the best of me. Do you honestly think that's an indication of where you are mentally?
I'd be curious what they would find. Because like as goalies, we're marketed that we have the best equipment out there, we're protected, the great helmets, all that stuff, that none of this is supposed to happen. So I would be curious what they would find. I find more so in probably in the last 3 years, my vision, I'm getting really, really sensitive to light. And actually, I just went to the eye doctor last week. I got all my prescriptions updated, and they found a couple issues with some of the internal issues, I guess, in my eye, like watching pucks, like to be able to focus on the puck and physically like hone in on it, because I was having some hard time with that last year, which could explain some issues. But that's really the only difference that I've noticed is just sensitivity to light, my lack of ability to like physically focus on certain objects with my eye.
Now, is that an eyesight thing, do you think? Or do you think that's more of a cerebral thing?
I asked the eye doctor that, and she didn't really give me an answer. She just said, this is how it is. Just update your prescription. That's going to answer the question, but... So
you got a stronger prescription than I'm assuming? Because you wear contacts when you're on the ice, right?
Yeah, significantly stronger now. So now we should be dialed in. I have it in right now. I can see very clearly, very crystal clear and crisp.
Since we're on the topic, you look at guys like the first one that comes to mind is Horace Grant, a center that played for the Chicago Bulls back in the 90s. He was a big, giant forward, and he wore the goggles. You'll see some basketball players wear the goggles instead of the contacts. If there was an option for you to wear goggles, like tight goggles, like almost like suntan goggles underneath your helmet, would that be better? I mean, have you ever had a contact incident as far as like a contact falling out during a game or anything?
Not that I can think of.
Okay.
Wouldn't that be something? Your contact falls out. Now you can't see your contact and you're digging through the snow on the crease.
At that point, you let it go and you just go to the bench and get a new one, I would assume, right? Could you imagine just the whole team say, don't skate. We got to look. We got to look. That would be there's needle in a haystack type stuff.
Even the other teams coming in to try to find it. Get Reg his contact so we got to keep playing.
Well, it reminds me of a CFL game back 80 some odd years ago where they ran out of footballs, so they ended the game. We got no footballs left.
Where'd the footballs go?
Well, one guy stole the last one.
Oh, the fan?
Yeah.
Oh.
Someone got a touchdown in the end zone, and everyone was celebrating because you could stand around the end zone. Some guy goes over and takes it, and it was in a Grey Cup game, too. I think a championship game, and he took the ball, and it was like, all right, game's over, I guess. Guy took our ball and went home.
Home team's winning. Go home!
Yeah, that doesn't happen anymore. You always make sure you have enough, but geez, could you imagine?
Hey, if you enjoyed this video, hit the subscribe button. We do a new podcast every single Sunday during the season called Sling the Biscuit. It is a non-mainstream hockey podcast, so we talk about my hockey career, the minor pros, Spain, the Fed, you name it, all the stuff that you won't hear in the mainstream news.
Music,
pop culture,
politics, a little bit.
Thanks for watching this video, and we'll see you soon.